They spent almost $1 billion in transfers since Sir Alex left in 2013, in the summer 2013, which is, I think, just over £800 million for players who were clearly not good enough. And we talked earlier about Arsenal and the lack of structure and the problems in recruitment. Is very similar for Manchester United as well, probably even more issues in the structure of that club with no sporting director, for example. But where that money has been is just ridiculous. The amount they spend on some players is just crazy. The other thing was how much they got it wrong in terms of managers. David Moyes was completely out of his depth at that club, and the article and all the little bits that Oggy got from insiders there show it, and also how Louis van Gaal was completely crazy and psycho, and the way he was managing that squad and that team for the time he was there was just completely ridiculous as well.
Crazy Van Gaal indeed. Stevie, what was your main takeaway?
Well, I guess it wasn't a surprise, but when he was talking about Woodward, who
the man behind
who's a little starstruck, shall we say?
Yeah.
You don't need somebody who's starstruck. You need somebody who's hard-nosed, who doesn't care who he's talking to or who he's with. He gets the job done for his team, whatever it may be. So, right before you start, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that was a great quote, wasn't it? He doesn't know what he doesn't know. Ed Woodward.
And that, it is very scary for a guy who's in a decision-making position, who's in a power position. And so when this is the guy that essentially is running your club, and he wants to be well-liked, and he wants to be appreciated by the fans and the players and the coaches. Guess what? It's an unpopular position to begin with, because there are moments in which you're going to have to make decisions, and you have to say no, and you're going to have to say yes. And you can be concerned about the popularity contest. That's one. And then the other thing is, this is systemic. It's not, we get caught up in, well, what did they do in this transfer window or last transfer window or the transfer window before that? No, it's been going on now for 6 years, and the more they try to dig themselves out of trouble, the more they seem to dig themselves deeper into trouble. So it's now, when you read the article, you just come out of it thinking, you know what? They're just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
And see what works. And if that works for a couple of games, we'll stick with that, and then we'll see if we can ride that as long as we possibly can. And that's not the way to run a corporation, it's not the way to run a team, and it's not a way to run Manchester United.
In pushing it on, what has to happen now for Mark Ogden to be able to come back in a couple of years and write a rosier next chapter?
Well, a lot needs to happen because major surgery is needed at Manchester United. I've sensed in the last few months that they've tried to do a kind of reboot there, that there is a vision and a plan which involves them, a three-point plan which involves them winning trophies, bringing through young players and playing the kind of adventurous football that was traditional at Old Trafford. Well, they had a good win last night, and one or two of the performances lately have been OK at Old Trafford especially, but away from home they struggle. You know, they were lucky to get that 3-3 draw at Sheffield United. You could say the summer signings last summer, Wan-Bissaka and Maguire, have done a job in tightening the defence. So they have taken steps, but there are many, many more steps to go. And I think the big decision they have here really is, I mean, it would be like shooting Bambi to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is obviously a very decent man trying his very best to turn the ship around there. But Pochettino is available. There must be conversations there. Do we get him while he's available? Because that does look quite a good fit, doesn't it? Mauricio Pochettino at Manchester United.
Do you think that's what they should do, Ian? Pochettino?
I'd hate to. I feel like the guy's shooting Bambi, if you ask me that. But I think when you've got a guy that good and available, yeah, you probably have to take that ruthless decision.
Jules, same question for you. Pochettino, if he's available, should they do it?
I think so, personally, yeah. Again, like Ian, I like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think he's a really good person. He works hard, for sure. I think he's showed his limits in terms of him managing such a big club and such a big team, especially at this crucial time in the development of this team and of this football club. They can't have another year or two of mediocrity. They can't have another year or two where they're in crisis, where it's a mess. They need to get things right. And I think someone like Pochettino, who we mentioned earlier, is perfect for this kind of project where you have to rebuild, or actually in this case build. There's nothing to rebuild. They just need to build a team that will be competitive, knowing what you do with your money, knowing the direction, having an identity. All of that is lacking so badly at United and at Arsenal as well. I think he will be the perfect guy for that, yes.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.